What's Philadelphia loss hurt the most? No stats tonight, just trauma. Lots of trauma right here on the Tony Cutillo Show. And who better than Philly sports personality? You see him every, you hear him on the radio, you see him on TV. My man Jason Lee, what's up, buddy?
Good to be here, Tony. Thanks for having me.
Man, this is you had me twice on your program.
Yeah, well,
so this is well overdue.
I did have you twice, and if you recall, one of the times I had you on, you saved me. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
and you call. Yeah, I do.
I had a guest that backed out on me, and I call you up. I'm like, Tony, I got a weird question for you. You want to go on TV with me?
Who's home at 11 a.m. on a Friday morning? Maybe Tony.
And who's got a setup that they could jump in front of a camera, and it's going to look good and sound good.
Yeah, you got to be, you got to play the part, right? Walk the walk, right?
And I've told you this on the air and off the air. I love this basement. It's fantastic.
Listen, man, it is my pride. It is my joy. I can't take the credit for the decorating because that is my wife. I just buy the stuff, or people buy it for me, and I ask her to put it up. So
nice.
And we're a little festive. We got some holiday stuff going on, and it's that kind of year. But man, talk about years. When I asked you to come on, we were talking about what Philly loss hurt the most. And you were around the same age, a couple years here or there, but
a few years on you.
We've definitely had a lot of anguish in our lives when it comes to Philly sports.
Yeah, it's when you first mentioned this topic to me, my first thought was how do you narrow it down? Look, we've had some good times in the last few years, but let's face it, in our lifetimes, there's been a lot of losses, a lot of bad losses,
too many. For me, I will say, as growing up, my first very memorable was Joe Carter. That 93, that was me, because I graduated 8th grade in 92.
Well, it's funny you mention that, okay? Because I was thinking about the loss that hurt the most, and that one popped into my head right away because I don't know about you, I still can't watch it. Oh. Like if I turn on like MLB Network and they're doing
they always show it,
top postseason moments, or actually this past World Series with Toronto in the World Series, they kept showing that. I had to turn the TV off every time. And I watched it live when it happened, and I have not seen it since. All these other bad moments that I'm sure we're going to get into, they hurt.
Yeah.
But they don't hurt. They don't hurt that much that you can't look at it. I cannot look at that Joe Carter home run and him jumping around the base. I can't look at it.
It was so devastating. And I think it was more devastating for me because at that time, I think I was 12 or 13. So, I'm a normal teenager. I wasn't as crazy in the sports like I am now, but I saw my mom and my dad. It's like so the anguish and the pain. And I was like, wow. And now that I watched it on replay, like you said, I'm like, this sucks. And now that I've been able to witness some horrific losses, that's what we'll get into. And now I get what they were feeling, for sure.
Well, and if you remember, that was game 6.
Yep.
Phillies were up by a run, and Mitch Williams is in. And if he closes it out, they win, and they go to a game 7, and who knows what can happen. But we all know what happened.
And the thing was about that year is, Mitch, listen, that was all a bunch of no-name guys and revelation. We all know that. But Mitch was never that dominant. Wild thing for a reason.
Yeah.
And just sucks that it came out in that game. Actually, it wasn't wild of that. Listen, Carter he went down and hit a terrible pitch.
Right. You got to give Carter credit. You have to. And that's why I thought a lot of the Williams hate was unwarranted at the time.
Yep.
And I was happy that he was able to not only come back to Philly, but come back, and he had a pretty good media career analyzing Phillies games. And I always said to people, people say Philadelphia fans are so bad. What fan base besides Philadelphia, what fan base would allow that to happen? You look at a guy like Bill Buckner in Boston. It took the Red Sox winning the World Series for them to forgive him, quote unquote, forgive him.
And Mitch was on WIP, right?
He was on
one of the radio, right?
He was on what was then Comcast Sportsnet.
Yes,
doing Phillies post-game live, which led to him getting a job at MLB Network. So he had a pretty good media career for a while.
He did.
And I was glad that the fans, I don't like to use the word forgive because he really did nothing wrong.
I know.
But the fans forgave him.
I liked him because he was just an average guy.
Yeah,
Man. You could tell he was a
and you know what?
normal guy.
And I think, at least for me, he garnered a lot of respect from me because he didn't back down from it.
No.
He owned up to it, didn't make excuses. If anything, I think he put too much of it on himself because it sounds cliche, but they wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for him.
That is true. That is true. And we're going to get into all of that.
Yep.
But before, again, you're watching Tony Cutillo show right here. Make sure you like and subscribe. And I talked about Jason. Like, Jason, let her, because I think maybe if you're on the way to work in the city of Philadelphia, you've probably heard some weather reports. If you turn on the news, you may have seen somebody doing the sports section here. Let everybody know, man. What does Jason Lee do, brother?
Oh gosh, it's where do I begin? So it's been 33 years that I've been in broadcasting, TV and radio.
Wow.
But I've done all sorts of things. I did weather on TV for a while. I did traffic on TV. I still do traffic on the radio part-time. I've been with PHL 17 for almost 11 years now. These days, I'm more producing behind the scenes than doing stuff on camera. But through the years, well, as you know, you were on the show. I had a sports show.
Great show, man.
I appreciate that.
Sucks that went away.
Well, I have some breaking news. I'll tell you in a second.
Okay.
But the I had a sports show for a couple of years. Yeah, and it's just I worked at B101 for a long time, so I've done music radio. But the sports show, I can tell you, is coming back.
Get out of here.
But not on TV.
Oh, that's okay.
It's going to be streamed. We're launching a streaming component called PHL 17 Plus.
Like kind of like what Fox Philly does, or
like
something
they have like Fox Local.
Yeah, that's it. Fox Local.
You know, Channel 6 is ABC Local.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so I don't know when it's going to start, but they approached me about it. They said because look, they're going to have this streaming component that they need to put 24 hours of content on. So I said, hey, look, you want content? I'll give you content.
See, that's a beautiful thing.
So I don't know when it's going to come back. I don't know if it's going to be exactly the way it was before, but at some point.
Congratulations.
Thank
man.
you.
I like to hear that.
I appreciate that. And I'll be calling you again.
I'm ready, brother. I'm ready. I think we just what do you call it? Just came back, right? Lindsay Moper.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So she's PHL 17.
Lindsay was actually an intern with us.
Right. Then she went to Buffalo.
Then she went to Buffalo. I got to tell you something. She is one of the most talented people.
I agree.
I mean, for somebody, let's face it, she still hasn't been in this business very long. She's been in the business under 5 years. But right out of college, she gets a job in Buffalo, which is a nice sized market to start out. And right out of college, she's covering the NFL. She's covering the NHL. I remember either last year or the year before, the Buffalo Bills came to the link.
Okay.
And you know how, like, when you watch post game live with like Barkan and those guys, they show, the players coming back through the tunnel, but all the media people are also. And I saw Lindsay and I texted her, "You're on TV now." No,
she's awesome, man.
But she's great. I'm glad that she's back at the station. And like I said, there are certain people who are just made for broadcasting and made for TV, and she's just got so much talent. We're going to see her on the sideline one day on like Monday Night Football.
100%.
Yeah.
So it'll be her and Devin King.
Yep.
It's just good people, man.
Yep.
I like.
I don't know Devin, but I like her work.
Devin's awesome.
Yeah.
I always look to certain people that when you're doing kind of like what I do, is who's going to give you the time, like who's going to be too big for their britches, so to speak, right? And there's certain names in the business that always stick out for me. And one guy who's always been there for me is Rob Ellis. Like, Rob Ellis is, if I call Rob, hey, can you jump on my Sirius show? No problem, Tone. What do you need? Hunter Brody was another guy, always jumping on with me whenever I needed to. Devin was fantastic. Like, even up to this day, I do a lot of a shout out to Together We Dance Foundation and Mike Barnes do a lot of work. He's an amazing person.
Yeah.
And anytime we do something local, Devin just let me know. Like, she pops it up on her show for me. Whatever just a very down to earth person.
I love that. And I know Hunter a little bit. I had him on my show a couple of times.
He's grinded, man. He's worked for what he's got right now.
And listen, he's got quite a following on his YouTube channel.
Yes, he does.
I don't know Rob too well.
Rob's awesome.
I did ask him to come on Sports Scene a while back, but he and D Gun were doing that show on CBS 3.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So he said he couldn't, but Rob's always been really nice the few times like we've talked on social media. I tell people this all the time. And you're so right, because it is cool when you meet people who've had a lot of success and they're still down to earth.
Yes.
But I tell people all the time, I mean, to do what we do, you need a bit of an ego. You need the confidence to go on camera and to go on a microphone and do your thing to a point. Okay. You don't want your head to swell. You don't want to get too big for your britches, because you know what? It could all end tomorrow.
You're right.
I mean, especially in this business, in broadcasting, I mean, prime example. So, I mean, I don't want to talk New York sports, but so WFAN in New York, Craig Carton, he used to be on WIP back in the day. He's coming back to FAM to take over afternoons. They're shifting the lineup, and it looks like their midday show, Brandon Tierney and Sal Licata. Not that I listen to New York sports, but I'm a radio geek.
Right. So
they're going to find themselves out of work through no fault of their own. They're great. They're great broadcasters.
Yep.
They do a great show, but they're going to find themselves out of work through. So the point is,
you just never know.
The point is, don't let it go to your head, because you never know when it could all end.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Work hard. But be nice to people.
Listen, we're life lessons on the Tony Cutillo show.
That's exactly right, man.
Not just losses. We talked about trauma, man. We're talking about being nice, right? And listen, it is true. Like, look, I'll be fully transparent before we get into these losses. I mean, look, I held down a slot on Sirius for 3 years on Sunday nights, and I had great ratings. I had the most calls of any show that day, and I'm not there. Like, not any fault of my own, just because this person needed this slot and this. And I'm going to be honest with you, I refuse to give up my life for that. So if somebody says, hey, I want you every Saturday night from 5 to 7, I'm going, sorry.
Right.
Not for me. It's not worth it.
And I will tell you, and because I've texted you sometimes when you were on the air, when you were doing Sunday morning.
Yes.
It was like 7 to 9? Yeah. So I was working for an online radio station, and my shift began at 9. So I'm like, let me check out Tony on the way to work.
That was fun.
And the cool thing is, I would text you, and then you'd give me a shout out and talk about the show.
Absolutely.
And then I text you and say, listen, I appreciate it, but you don't have to do that. I mean, that's not why I'm reaching out. I'm reaching out because I'm hearing you.
That's who we are.
You sound great.
And I'd appreciate that, man.
And here's the thing about that, because it was a fantasy sports show.
Yeah. So Sirius XM Channel E7.
I've never done fantasy. Never been interested in fantasy. I'd probably be terrible at it. But you, and forgive me, your co-host,
Dave. Me and Dave.
Yeah. You guys, you made it so that it was, I don't want to say you dumbed it down, because but somebody like me could follow along and understand and be interested. It's like you didn't have to be into fantasy football to enjoy what you guys did. And not everybody can do that. That's a skill.
It is. I'll be honest with you. That was my goal. My goal was, I don't want to be like every other show.
Right.
And that's why we got good ratings, because we'd have people calling in that never called in. We're like, oh, I thought this was just you're talking about great tight ends. You're talking about, because it all intertwines.
Yeah.
So that was fun, man. That was fun. But hey, you never know. Greener pastures ahead some days. That's okay. But for right now, we're all living a dream. And one dream we're not living is somebody's hurt losses. So I know you don't want to pin it down, right? Okay. But if I had to put you on the spot, let's phrase it this way. Mm-hmm. One of your most hurtful losses in Philly sports history.
Well, we already talked about Joe Carter.
Yep.
That's number one, and it's not even close. I mean, if you could actually break it down by team if you wanted to.
Yeah, okay, yeah. You want to do that?
Because so the Phillies, I mean, what was worse than the end of the 2011 NLDS when Ryan Howard strikes out and tears his Achilles? And that was almost like a metaphor for what was happening to that team. It was like it was the end of the run. It's over. Hope you enjoyed it while it lasted.
That was brutal.
Because it's over. So as he's being helped off the field and the Cardinals are celebrating, you're watching that like, they've been in the playoffs for 5 straight years.
You're saying it. It's over.
It's done. It's done. I mean, you could, but even with the Phillies, you can go back to the 70s. Was it 77 NLCS?
I wasn't born yet. Sorry, I'll just say I wasn't born yet. So I don't know.
Okay, but I know stuff that happened before I was born.
I know, but I wasn't that focused with that one.
Well, but it's one of those moments that Phillies fans will always remember, where Phillies were playing the Dodgers, and I don't know what game it was, but it was the NLCS.
Okay.
And I don't know if it could have been a clinching game or not, but normally Danny Ozark would take Greg Luzinski out of left field like a defensive replacement, put in Jerry Martin.
Okay.
He kept Luzinski in, and don't you know, the next batter, and I forget who it was, hits a fly ball that Luzinski botches. He can't catch it, and the Dodgers come back and win the game.
Oh, wow.
You know, with the Eagles, the one that sticks out to me, and God, you can mention any of the NFC Championship.
I know, man.
But I got to go with the final game of the vet.
Yes, the vet funeral.
Yeah, because wasn't that
Joe Juravicious?
Yes, Joe Juravicious
and Rondé Barber.
And there was a story I heard where I guess it was Juravicious. Blaine Bishop was supposed to be covering him, right? Blaine Bishop had some kind of an injury that he didn't tell the team about because he didn't want to miss the game. And because of whatever he was dealing with, he wasn't able to keep up.
How hurtful was that?
Yeah, I mean, that's awful.
Mm.
And if I remember correctly, didn't the Eagles score a quick touchdown? Like Brian Mitchell ran the opening kickoff back.
I think it was one of those where everybody was like, "Oh," and then it just collapsed.
It just collapsed.
Yes.
Yeah. Sixers.
That was hard.
Sixers. You've got, was it 2019 or 2020? The Toronto series with the Kawhi last second shot that like bounced a couple of times and eventually goes in. I mean, how much of a heartbreaker is that? And for the Flyers, gosh, the 2010 Stanley Cup, was it Patrick Kane who scored that goal?
Patrick Kane
from the blue line.
I'm not a huge hockey guy, but
Okay.
I do know Patrick Kane from the Blackhawks. So
Yeah,
possibly
it was the Flyers and the Blackhawks. The Flyers had Michael Leighton as their goaltender.
Leighton.
And
yes,
you know, it seems like they may have a solid goalie now in Vladar, but besides Ron Hextall and Bernie Perrant and Pelly Lindbergh for the brief time he played, the Flyers have always had an issue in goal. And in 2010, it came back to bite them. Patrick Kane takes a shot like from beyond the blue line, and it kind of goes in, but quickly comes out. And people weren't sure if it was a goal. I don't know if you remember that. Patrick Kane knew.
I watched.
He started celebrating right away.
I watched hockey back then, and I remember about the goalie position. The 1 year I thought we were going to rectify that is when they signed Van Beesbrook, but the guy they should have signed was it Curtis Joseph? Was it Cujo that they could have signed? They signed Van Beesbrook instead.
It might have been Cujo, yeah.
And and it was like we never had the goalie.
Well, Philadelphia teams have a habit of signing players past their prime.
That's true.
There's two things.
That's true.
And we'll get back to losses in a second.
No, it's fine.
I don't mean
this could go anywhere,
I'm sorry.
This is a conversation.
I don't mean to be running your show.
Yeah, this is our show.
But Philadelphia sports, two things. They're notorious for signing players that are past their prime. They're also notorious for signing the wrong brother. Have you noticed that?
Giambi?
Yeah, Jeremy Giambi. The Phillies had Ken Brett instead of George Brett.
Oh,
you know what I mean? There's a whole bunch of examples.
Always.
Yeah.
But who was the goalie that we had? And Briz, right? Brizgalov. And then goes on to be one of the best goalies.
Oh, no. You're thinking of Sergei Bobrovsky.
Bobrovsky. Was that it?
Yeah, because the Flyers signed Brizgalov.
Right.
And kind of tossed Bobrovsky aside in favor of Brizgalov, who turned out to be a bust. And Bobrovsky went on to be a hell of a goaltender.
See, that's the stuff, man, when you think about it. That hurts just like a loss.
And I want to tell you one other loss that sticks out to me.
Boy.
And not because of anything that happened in the game itself. It was game 7 of the 1987 Stanley Cup Finals. Flyers and the Edmonton Oilers.
Okay.
The Flyers. I
vaguely remember watching some of those games.
I think this is Ron Hextall's rookie season.
Yes.
And
Gretzky was on the Oilers at that time, right?
It was the Wayne Gretzky. It was the Edmonton dynasty. Gretzky, Yari Curry, Grant Fuhr.
Fuhr. Talk about goalies.
Yeah. So
wow.
I remember. So and this is a young Flyers team with Mike Keenan as the coach. Ron Hextall, rookie and goaltender, but all the guys from the 80s, you know, Ron and Rich Sutter, Tim Kerr, Brian Propp, Rick Tocchet.
That was when I watched Flyers hockey.
Peter Zezel.
Yes.
I mean, they had some great teams. They went to the Cup in 85 and 87, lost to Edmonton both times. I mean, they're playing a dynasty. But I remember vividly, so the Flyers take the Oilers to Game 7, and I remember asking my mom, if the Flyers win, can we go to the parade? And I got the typical parent answer, we'll see.
Well,
I said that a million times to my kids. We'll see.
Of course.
Even back then, I knew it was no. But I, you're a kid. I have such high hopes thinking the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
And so again, not because of anything in particular that happened in that game, but they got so close. And it's, when a team gets that close, and we've been through that with many Philadelphia teams. When a team gets that close and they don't go over the hump, they don't get the cup, they don't get the championship. It's like, okay, they're not guaranteed to come back next season. You never know.
Exactly.
When are they going to be back?
Exactly. And I think a lot of those losses that you talked about, what symbolizes them and makes them so symbolic is like the Ryan Howard, knowing that era was over.
Yeah.
Right. And, when we look back at that 2019 double bounce Kawhi game, I mean, that was their best opportunity. The Sixers with Embiid and Jimmy to be able to win.
Right.
And so we knew then it's not going to happen.
It's not going to get any
right?
better.
Flyers, how about in, was it 97 with the Red Wings?
Oh, God.
Right. We get swept, but for me,
we got swept badly.
That's
in that
a Lindros
series.
era for me.
Yeah.
Like Lindros was my guy. Like that's who I watched growing up.
Yeah.
And that era was over.
It's such a shame because him with his concussions.
Wow.
When you think about what the Flyers gave up.
Yeah.
And what the Flyers gave up ended up winning a Stanley Cup for Colorado.
It's crazy.
I mean, they were Quebec at the time, but they eventually, with those players, moved to Colorado.
Nordiques?
Yeah, the Nordiques.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was this past week. The Avalanche had a throwback game where they wore Quebec Nordique jerseys.
Really?
Which was really cool.
I used to love the Nordique. Like that was just like the Montreal Expos. I love those jerseys and those hats, man.
Well, I'll tell you that to me, the best jersey, the best logo, well, one of the best logos in sports, the old Hartford Whalers. Love the Hartford Whalers.
Let me tell you something. I have some sneaky NHL knowledge because I watched it. But I can tell you there's only one guy I remember on the Hartford Whalers. And I think, or I may be getting this, it might have been Minnesota. Mike Modano, did he play for the Hartford Whalers or was he a Minnesota North Stars guy?
I think he was a Minnesota North Star. Because I
don't know nobody on the Hartford Whalers.
I could be wrong, but I think he ended up when the North Stars moved to Dallas. I think he went with them because I remember him as a Dallas Star.
Because he was a star. Like he was a really good player.
Yeah.
And I remember because I was a card collector back then. So I would go get my OPT premieres and I would open them up and see who. And I remember getting a Mike Modano rookie card. And I always hit him. I think I had Joe Sakic and I had, or Sacco. Joe Sacco?
Sakic.
It was Sakic, right?
Yeah.
The Yarmir Yager, Sergei Fedorov. You had all these guys. But that's when I watched it.
Now, the Hartford Whalers, I don't know if you remember this. Gordie Howe signed with the Hartford Whalers when he was like in his 50s.
Really?
Just briefly.
Like for a retirement thing?
Well, no, because he played with his two sons. On the Hartford Whalers at the same time, you had Gordie Howe, Mark Howe, and Marty Howe.
Wow.
And they all played together. And then,
that's
of course, Mark Howe came here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's pretty. See, you bring, this isn't just about trauma. You're bringing up like some old school knowledge here, man.
I like talking sports. I do. I love it. I like, I don't like living in the past, but I like visiting it every once in a while.
Yes.
I think, especially people in this town, I think people like to reminisce.
I think we need more of it.
And I agree.
We need more of it.
And as much as our sports has disappointed us over the years, there's a lot that we could look back on that's good.
To give us some great memories.
And you can, and the memories are connected with different moments in your life.
Yes.
That's the beauty of sports. And the example I always give, and you may have an example like this, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl for the first time, when they won Super Bowl 52, I'm watching the game at my parents' house, like my whole family's there. I give my dad a hug.
You remember those things.
And it's like, yeah, I'm going to get emotional. It's like, that's something you'll never forget. And, because my dad's not going to be here forever. I'm always going to remember that.
Yes.
And sports makes moments like that happen.
It's so true. Now this wasn't a loss or a win. Well, it was a win, but they didn't obviously win. But I remember same thing. Me and my dad, I was at game 1 at LCS in 93.
Mm-hmm.
And we were sitting third base line, and Kim Batiste they put him in. Remember, they would put him in for defensive substitution?
Yeah, sure.
And he butchered a ball.
Yes.
And then he came up and won the game.
Yes.
I'll never forget it, because that was the one game. Me and my dad, the one playoff game we went to, and we were at the same thing. There are the moments that you will never forget.
Yep.
So as much as it's trauma and heartache, there's a lot of great joy and memories for sure.
It's the beauty of sports.
Yeah.
And people who are not sports fans will say, why do you get so wrapped up? Because sports can be stressful too.
Yes.
It's like, why do you let sports do that to you?
Yeah.
Because you know what? Because the lows might be low, but the highs are really high, man.
Especially if you're a sports bettor.
Well, yeah. That's another thing I never got into.
Oh man, yeah, it's Aton. He's a big sports bettor, man. You talk about a guy who's stressed, but yeah, he'll be here soon. So we'll be talking. We'll be talking. Cool. Yeah, he's a good dude too, man. He does a lot. You talk about a guy who runs, man. He's always running. So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
So you talked about the Phillies with Ryan Howard. So for me, my most devastating loss was the series against the Diamondbacks, and
a couple years ago.
Yeah, 23.
Oh yeah.
And the reason why is, again, that was it. To me, that was the Phillies' shot. The year before, we didn't expect them to get to the World Series against Houston that year. They call it lightning in a bottle. Houston was obviously the better team.
Sure, right. I don't think anybody faulted them for losing to the Astros.
But that year, it was set up. Texas Rangers come on. It was set up for you.
Right. And they only had to win one of 2 games
at home.
And they couldn't do it.
Bet them at the bank, and they couldn't do it.
It's a lost opportunity.
And I look at that now and go, and we see what's kind of shifting now. Players are getting older, right? The questions, is Bryce Harper a lead or not? And I'll be honest. Listen, I am not I'm not an advocate of Dombrowski. However, I agree with what he said, and I think that maybe he could have.
Yeah, he probably shouldn't have said it, but I agree with him.
But let's be honest, right? And so that's why that loss to me hurts the most for the Phillies.
Well, and what really hurts about that is that issue, the lineup going cold at the same time, has not gone away.
Nope.
Think about it. This lineup got no hit in the World Series.
I know.
Think about it.
That's crazy.
They got no hit in the World Series.
When does that happen?
It doesn't happen very often.
But let's run it back. That's a topic for another day. I don't want to get all crazy here, man, because I will. I really would. That boggles my mind. Yeah, it really does.
I'm with you.
It really does. But looking back, I think it's so important. It's why I started this podcast. I talk about a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say you get bored, but I got to give these radio guys a ton of credit, meaning to come in every day and legitimately talk about the same thing every day. Not because that's what the city, the pulse is. That's what I couldn't do it. So I'm like, you know what? I want to do something different, because I always say to my kids, my boys are 18 and 20. And I'm like, guys, do me a favor. Look back a little bit. Stop focusing on right now, because you're missing a ton of sports history.
Yeah.
So, and I figured starting something like this, it's able to. First episode was a steroid era. Like we talked about the start. What if it never happened?
It's a great question.
But do we really look back and see how great these guys, even beyond the steroids, really were? We don't. So that's kind of where I'm at, man. That's where I kind of where I'm
the
at.
steroid era sabotaged my baseball card collection. I have three.
Oh, let me guess. I
have 3 Mark McGwire rookie cards,
you do.
And I have a Barry Bonds rookie card, and they're all worth nothing.
Nothing. And I stayed up late at night, and I don't know who the guy was on the TV, but on Home Shopping Club Network, it said, you're going to get 5 Mark McGwire rookie cards, and you're going to get this promo. And I was like, order. And I got tons of them too. So we're in the same boat.
Yep.
We're in the same boat. But you know, it was, if you mask down the steroid use and just, there was a great video that me and my buddy Coach Dave were talking about with Greg Maddox. I don't know if you ever seen it. It's Greg Maddox and Barry Bonds. It was on the MLB Network.
Okay.
And they're breaking down simultaneously the at bat against each other.
Oh, wow.
And you want to talk about unbelievable baseball minds. You got to watch that. You'll thank me later.
I'll look it up. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll thank it was great. So I figure we talked about some losses. Now we want to play something we call Jigsaw's Final Cut.
Okay.
So Jigsaw, everybody knows my nickname is Jigsaw.
How did you get that, by the way?
So that was given to me by the great Sean Brace. So
Sean Brace
gave me the nickname Jigsaw.
Sean Brace will be on PHL 17. Well, actually, by the time this drops, it's probably past tense at this point. But he's going to be on recapping previewing the Eagle Charger game.
Listen,
good dude.
Yes. Listen, it's like we always say, I'm a very transparent guy. So Sean did give me my first break, so to speak. So when I was podcasting on my own and I was writing, you know, he had got let go from the Fanatic when he was with Johnny Marks.
Yeah.
They were together. And he started his own thing called phillyinfluencer.com.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah.
So he was looking for a fantasy sports guy. And I applied. So I remember I pulled in, I had a phone interview with him. Never talked to him, but the thing was, I always listened to him and Marks. Like, they were like kind of like my age a little bit, and I'm older than him by I think 5 years, but it was like kind of the same. You know what I mean? So I remember sitting in the Starbucks parking lot, we're talking, and he's like, "I want you to be my fantasy guy." He's like, "I think you had this," and he did. Look, he opened some doors for me, and then as anything, you know, he went to iHeart and he brought the team with him. And then things happened, you know, no need to hash anything out, but no big deal. Things happen. But at the end of the day, you don't ever want to see anybody lose their job.
Sure.
And I hate to see what kind of happened because I look at things and that's for another day. But now I see he's on with Johnny Marks. He's trying to revitalize, which is cool. And at the end of the day, you know, he gave me my spot. So I'll be forever thankful for that. So, but when he's on, say, yo, how'd you get that name off the air? Be like, Jigsaw, how'd you go? And it holds this smile because
I'll have to ask him.
You know the Green Legion,
yeah.
Right? So you know Michael Diaz?
No.
Okay, so Diaz is one of the, you know, you have Quimby and you have Chris Sack, and then you have Diaz, and Diaz is one of the guys who's been there for a long time. So it always used to be me, Sean, Mike, and this kid Adrian, and every time me and we would battle. Me and I just said his name, and then I completely me and Diaz would battle. I used to call him Skittles because he was always happy, and I would just get, man, like, what are you so happy about? Like, so we would battle, and Sean was like, you just get under everybody's skin, dude. Like, he's like, you got to be like a Jigsaw guy, and ever since then, it's stuck.
Wow.
So I've continued the Jigsaw name.
That's interesting.
Because I do. I ask my wife, I get under people's skin every now and then. But I ask my kids, they'll tell you the same thing. So Jigsaw's Final Cut is kind of putting you on the spot. Okay. I'm going to give you 2 names.
Okay.
And you're going to give me, obviously, I don't know if you watch the show. I'm a big hip hop guy. I watch a podcast called Drink Champs with Noriega, and they basically do it with MCs. They'll be like, this MC, and then they have to drink if they can't pick between the two. Well, we're not drinking. We all got water here, but
water.
I fully expect you to pick one or the other. You know,
so what's the criteria? Like, what am I picking them based on?
So basically, it is each of these players in their prime.
Oh,
who would you take in their prime? So he can't be like and they're all going to be Philly, all Philly related. All right.
Okay.
So you know, in their prime. So here you go. We'll just start off with a good one.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts or Donovan McNabb? I know.
That's tough, man. You know, Jalen's won a Super Bowl.
I know.
I mean, if you go strictly by the numbers, you got to say McNabb is the greatest quarterback in franchise history.
Agreed.
But if you're asking me who I'd pick in their prime, when you combine what he can do with his legs, I mean, McNabb can run too, but Hurts, I got to go Jalen.
I have to agree. It's what you said. He won the game. He won what McNabb couldn't.
Right.
So
I mean, I might take Nick Foles over McNabb for that same reason.
I mean, listen, you very well could.
Yeah.
Right. Who would have? I still can't believe he beat out Tom Brady, but that's so crazy. Basketball. Joel Embiid or Allen Iverson.
Oh God, no contest.
Easy. No contest, right?
No AI every day. And look, I feel bad for Embiid. He's got 2 bad knees.
Yeah.
But by the same token, I don't know, man. He's not on the court more than he is on the court. And
it's tough.
AI would always play hurt. I mean, it just seems like, and it doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but I guess it was.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
2001.
There was just
finals. Think about that.
There was just a different mindset, a different work ethic back then.
There was. And the thing is, he only worked on the court, so he didn't work off the court.
Well,
it's crazy when you think about it. And I always say, think about if he would have, like you hear him talk now, if he would have listened
if he
to Larry
practiced.
Brown, right? If he would have practiced.
And he acknowledges that too.
Yep. It's crazy.
Which is cool. Hey, listen, he's one of the all-time greats in franchise history.
Yes.
His number's retired. Will Joel Embiid's number be retired, do you think?
That's an interesting question.
So at this point, I would say no.
Wow, man. I think I agree. I don't think it will be.
I mean, has he done enough?
And that sucks. I mean, I'll be honest. Like that, we were. I mean, how long ago were we talking about this guy and he's MVP, the greatest player on the planet conversations? He couldn't be stopped, and now he's just a shell.
He is.
And I feel it's funny. I feel bad for him because he wants to play. He wants to play. He's not a soft athlete.
No, I'm not going to say he's soft, but okay, let me ask you this.
Okay.
What did you think of him playing in the Olympics?
I have a different take than a lot of people. I agree with it.
You do?
I do, because I look at, as a coach, when I was coaching, I watched a lot of kids give up opportunities to be, just for the simple fact, we don't want them to get hurt. And they never actually got to where they want to be. And that was something they always regretted. And to me, it's like, listen, the Olympics are a one-time thing. And this guy coming over from Cameroon, starting late, to be able to be a gold medalist, bro, you got to take that opportunity.
Now, listen, I
that's the way I looked at it.
No, I get that way of thinking. I totally get that way of thinking. On the other hand, the Sixers are paying him a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
no, you're right.
And he's only got, so many miles on that odometer. So
you're not wrong.
I wasn't thrilled with it.
A lot of people weren't. And I get it. I just, the coach the coach takes over inside of me and goes, you know what, man? I just think I think I would have done the same thing if I were him.
Now, I mean, what you said makes total sense. I will tell you, Mike Sealski, I think it was Mike.
Another great guy.
Yeah, he's awesome. I think it was Mike. He also had a different way of looking at it. He said that this could be good for Embiid because he's going to be around people who know how to win. And maybe that winning attitude. Yeah, and that made sense.
That does make sense.
I see both sides of the argument.
Interesting. I like that.
But I didn't like the fact that he was playing basketball in the Olympics and then all of a sudden he comes back and he can't play. So
yeah, that's tough. Now this one, I think this one's going to be, these next two are bangers, man.
Okay.
Next four.
Okay.
Bryce Harper, Chase Utley. Right.
God, this is tough.
Yeah.
This is tough, man.
I know.
In his prime.
In their prime. This might be, if we were alcoholics right now, I think this is where we would drink.
Well, listen, I'm going to use the same rationale I used for the Hurts McNabb question.
I was thinking about that.
Chase won a World Series.
Yes, he did.
And I mean, Chase wasn't the home run hitter that Harper is, but he just brought so much to the table, man. I mean, and he was such a big part of that team.
Yep.
I got to go Chase. And listen, if you ask me this question 3 years from now, I might give you a different answer.
Yep.
But now I got to go Chase Utley.
I think I agree. I do. And for exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
Jason Kelsey, Brian Dawkins. Got to be Dawkins.
You got to be Doc. And no disrespect to Kelsey.
No, but it's got to be Dawkins.
Kelsey was great. He will end up wearing a gold jacket one day in the next few years, or whenever he's up for that. But it's got to be. Well, okay, but hold on. Kelsey did win a Super Bowl and Dawkins didn't.
I know.
But I mean, there are exceptions to every rule.
I know. I think
but
this is the exception.
I think I got to go with Dawkins on this one.
I agree. Nobody symbolizes Eagles football like Brian Dawkins.
Yeah.
So I totally agree. Now this is going to bring Bryce Harper again.
Oh, okay.
Right? Against Mike Schmidt. That's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Mike Schmidt is the greatest hitter in franchise history. You can make an argument. Well, he's dead. Look, he's the best third baseman in the history of baseball.
Yes. That nobody talks about, by the way. Like, meaning when I say that phrase, if you watch national programs, you watch nobody brings up Mike Schmidt.
Who do they bring up then?
What I mean, but it's when you're talking about that era, I never hear, oh, what about Schmitty? What about Mike Schmidt? It's like got to be a targeted conversation where they're bringing up all kinds of different names, and I just don't think he gets. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's Philadelphia. I don't know, but yeah, he is the best.
Well, I will say, while he played, I don't think we appreciated what we had.
That's a good way to put it.
And it's the old cliche: you don't realize what you have till it's gone.
Yep.
Now, anytime he's there for like an alumni thing. Standing ovation. Standing up.
He definitely didn't have that relationship back then.
No, well, you remember when he had to put the wig on?
Yes, I think that's hilarious.
Do you know the story behind that?
No.
So Larry Anderson,
LA
gave him the wig. So Schmidt gave an interview to a newspaper in Montreal.
Okay.
Like a week prior. Pretty much trashing Philly fans. And obviously this is back before the internet. And I guess he didn't think that the story would travel from Montreal to Philly. Well, it eventually did.
Yep.
And so Larry Anderson pulls him aside before the game and says, you got to do something to like break the ice. You got to do something to like, mock yourself. And he gave Schmidt the black wig and the glasses. And if you remember, Schmidt was playing first base at the time.
Oh, wow.
Rick Shue.
I remember Rick Shue.
So Schmidt ran out to first base.
Wow.
With the wig, and it was all because of Larry Anderson.
Check that out. So you're just you are
I'm a
wealth of knowledge,
encyclopedia of useless knowledge.
It's not useless.
Useless, totally useless.
I can tell you it's not useless. Trust me. Now these are two big dogs.
Okay.
Brian Westbrook, LaShawn McCoy.
Wow.
It's tough.
That's a tough one.
Now I know Shady is the all-time. I get all that.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It is a tough, and I think I don't have the stats in front of me, but the years that they were here was almost identical before they went. Remember Westbrook went and signed a big deal. Shady gets shipped off by Chip Kelly to Buffalo. So, but both. I mean, that could be a toss-up.
Yeah, I'll go Westbrook, but only by like that much.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, yeah.
I think I go B West.
It's a toss-up. It's a total toss-up. But if you're making me pick one, I'll pick Westbrook.
Yeah, I think I would pick Westbrook too. But there's arguments definitely.
Oh, sure, absolutely
for both, man. How about AI or Dr. J?
Dr. J. I mean, no disrespect to AI.
No.
But I mean, there are few players. I mean, who meant throughout the history of the Sixers, who has meant more to the franchise than Julius Erving?
Yep.
I mean, think about that. You can go through the list of former players who has meant more to the franchise than Julius Erving. it's Doc. It's got to be Doc.
It's got to be Doc. Again, unless people go back and I say this all the time, when people say greatest of all time, it's so hard for me because I always say, look, I didn't watch some of these guys play. I can only go by what I see. But that's why I always feel like there's got to be errors because it's so hard to say this guy's great. Yeah, but really, is he? I don't know. Like in that era, he was the GOAT, right? But to go back and watch some of the foot, man, he was smooth as hell.
He wasn't just smooth. I mean, it's like he defied gravity.
It's crazy.
There's that one that, and I forget who this was against, but it might have been the Lakers, where it's like he has the ball, he goes under the basket and kind of shoots it up. He's under the basket and he just kind of, so the glass is above him, and he just puts it up and it goes in. But he did all this in the air.
Yep.
And there's that one, I think they call it Rock the Baby.
Yes.
Where like he starts at the arc.
Yep.
And that's where he starts to jump. And it's like it's like he's floating in air.
And it's the only reason why I knew that was because I'm a Jordan guy.
Yeah.
And you see the 23, right?
Yeah.
So, and who taught him how to dunk was Dr. J.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He taught, so he worked with that. That's why he had to kiss the rim. That's why he had the foul line dunk. All that stuff was emulating stuff that Julius Erving did.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So check that out.
I did not know that.
So he worked when he was going through, he worked with him, man.
That's awesome.
If you read it, so it was pretty cool. Roy Halladay, Cole Hamels.
Are you talking strictly their time in Philly?
For this one would be strictly their time in Philly. This is tough.
It's tough.
It could be the exception.
It's tough. I got to go Hamels.
I'm with you.
Only because, look, he's an MVP of the World Series.
Yes.
Halladay's got the perfect game in the no-hitter, but Hamels did pitch a no-hitter as well.
Yep.
You remember his final start.
So crazy. What's the odds? That was amazing.
And what are the odds that the game ends on a great catch by, of all people, Odubel Herrera?
Odubel. Another name we want to forget.
I mean, I'll tell you what, you're coming up with some great matchups. I don't like picking against Halladay.
No, it's hard.
But it's.
And he's looking right at you while you're he's looking right at you too. But no, listen, I think if 2008, 2007, 2008, Cole Hamels. I mean, Cole Hamels in 08 postseason, the way his changeup and his fastball. I mean, you think about he carried that staff.
Yeah.
Like who? Like Joe Blanton, Brett Myers, Jamie Moyer. I mean, you think about it, and who would have thought this kid from San Diego with the hair and the layback out? He was a dog out there. Man.
He was great. Yeah,
he was a dog out there. Yeah, I've told a few people go back and watch Cole pitch 07, 08, 09. It was unbelievable. So he got it. So I got to go Cole, man.
Yep.
I do. I got to go Cole. Now, how about hockey wise? I think we know where, but I think it's two good debatable names because they meant a lot within the times. Eric Lindros, Claude Giroux.
I'd probably go Lindros there.
I would too. I definitely would too. And we're going to finish this up right here. And this is going to be interesting because one guy is still here for the Sixers and one guy played here for part of his career.
Okay.
So we go Embiid or Barkley.
Oh God. No contest, man.
Right.
It's Barkley all the time.
I asked that because some people say because he wasn't here long enough. Because the version of Barkley we wish you had was the guy who played in Phoenix.
He was still pretty good here.
He was, but he went to that MVP caliber guy when he went to Phoenix.
Yeah, but he was still pretty good here.
I wish he would have won one.
Yeah, but I think
I do.
I think Barkley, and again, I mean, we could have a different answer in a couple of years, but I think Barkley had more of an impact than Embiid has had to this point.
Interesting. Oh, you're on the franchise itself, yeah. Mm-hmm. Round man of rebound.
Yep, that's
the
right.
Round man of what a personality he is too. My Lord.
Oh, he's great on TV.
He is unbelievable.
I love that.
The inside the NBA.
Yeah, God, I love that.
With him and Shaq?
Him and Shaq, yeah. and Ernie Johnson.
Oh,
They're
wow.
all great. They're all
Wow.
great. It was really cool that they were able to save that show and move it to
Yes.
ESPN.
Yes. No, I agree. Jason, man, it's been amazing. I really
Should they
appreciate it.
re-sign Schwarber? Just tell me that.
Oh, we want to get a little. I'm in. No,
I agree with you.
no,
I agree with you. And I'll tell you. Well, you tell me your reason. I'll tell you mine, and then we can wrap it up.
no. It's fine. Honestly, when people ask me this and I say no, they're like, "What are you, crazy?" No, because it hasn't worked. I love Kyle Schwarber. I think he means the world to this team. But if you're telling me that we're going to have to lock up, what, $200 million in another 32, 33-year-old player, we're already locked in with other guys. We're not really changing. That's going to hinder what we're able to do. And I get that there's no cap. That may change,
right?
But doesn't matter. It's still whatever. If the owner says you have X amount of money, I want to make sure that we're utilizing that money. I'll be honest with you. I'd rather have the pitching.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I will tell you, on the day that we're recording this, it is the 3-year anniversary, I guess, of the Phillies signing Trey Turner.
I just saw that.
To an 11-year contract. Yes. It's going to take something similar where in a few years we're going to be like, this contract's an albatross. And not only that, so to me, when a team spends that kind of money on a player, a baseball player, why are they doing that? In my opinion, they're doing it for what's to come in October.
Yes.
They're doing it for what that player is going to bring you in the playoffs. And like you, I love Schwarber. I think he's great. He seems like, I never met him. Seems like a hell of a guy.
Yes.
He's a very charitable guy.
Yes. Does a lot.
Sure is. He's a talented guy.
Does a lot.
But what did he do against the Dodgers? He had one good game, right? He had one game.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
show up.
Right. He didn't show up. So why, if you want him, if you're going to pay a player like that for what he's going to do for you in October / early November, whatever, what has he shown you? He hasn't shown that he can. He hasn't shown you he can do it.
I agree.
If he were to come back on a quote unquote hometown discount, which it's not going to happen.
No.
But if he would do that, okay, I'd think about that, sure, because I'd still like to have him, but not for what it's going to cost. There's going to be a team out there who's going to just bombard him with cash.
Definitely.
And the Phillies, at least for me, I wouldn't match it.
I was so torn because he is a different style of player.
Yeah.
And, he is the ultimate team first guy.
And yeah, he's old school.
He really is.
Yeah.
However, we've been through this and nothing's changing. And I just can't see it changing anymore. This entire lineup needs to be restructured. And you can't just tell me you're going to take a guy like Alec Boehm out and put somebody else that's going to change. No, like the core of that lineup, unfortunately, needs to change.
Yeah.
And if you bring Kyle Schwarber back, then we're going to continue to see, we're already seeing a slight little decline in Bryce Harper. You're seeing, listen, Trey Turner had almost an MVP year last year.
Yeah, he won the batting title.
Because I know a lot of people are mad because you're not getting the power.
Yeah.
But he changed his game when they asked him to change his game. They wanted him to be more of a hitter than a stroker, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and he did that. But if the other guys aren't picking up that slack. So there was a report, and I love Ketel Marte. So Ketel Marte, on average, he's 32 years old. He does it all, right-handed. Problem is, you're going to have to give up some of your young guys to get this guy. However, to me, I don't want to go with another 32-year-old guy. But if I can insert a different 32-year-old guy, possibly that changes a little bit more. So it just says to me, rewind again. And you can't tell me, I can't buy into what's going to change because I just don't feel like it is.
I agree with you. I mean, like you said, we've seen this before.
Yes.
It's been the same problem for the last few years.
Yes. No matter what they do, no matter how many curveball machines they bring out, no matter how many times they change their approach. And Come on, man. Like every team, we always go cold in the worst spots.
Absolutely.
Except that San Diego series, right? When Reese was going off and those guys were catching lightning in the bottom.
Now, do you remember early this past season, throughout the month of April, the Phillies were struggling.
Yep.
And remember what Rob Thompson said? Well, it's still cool. Once the spring and summer heat up, the hitting will start. And my response to that was, does he know what the weather's like in October? Right?
You're right. You're right. And they went on that. What was it? Maybe like 1 month, and they were on fire.
Yeah.
And I was like, uh-oh. I'm thinking this is great, but they just hit their peak at the wrong time.
All right, I know you want to end this. Can I give you one more?
Listen, we don't have to end it.
I got
no life, bro. I'm good.
Neither do I. I thought of one more bad loss.
Yeah. Oh, let's go.
One more bad loss. When it's the Union of all. Okay.
Wow.
Do you remember the Union? Was it 2 years ago when they were in the MLS Cup Finals?
Oh God.
It was.
I don't
know how much of a soccer guy you are.
No, I coached soccer for years.
Okay.
I've been to multiple Union games
we used to have the Union games on our station
on 17.
So I became I'm not like a huge Rabbit fan, but I'm a fan. I like what they do. So I want to say it was 2 years ago. They were in the MLS Cup Finals against LA, right? It was LAFC.
LAFC.
Okay. They're up by a goal, and it's very late in the game. I mean, maybe like I forget how soccer's timed. They count up, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. So, but it's very late in the game. They're up by a goal. LA scores a late goal to tie things up, and it eventually goes to penalty kicks.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it just so happens LA's goaltender gets hurt. Their backup goaltender is a penalty kick specialist.
I do remember that.
He's a guy from Philly.
I do remember that.
He stones the Union. The Union have Andre Blake in goal, who they call our buddy Dave Leno calls Brick Wall Blake.
Yep.
But it's strictly a guessing game because the goal is so big. You got to try to guess what way they're going to go, and if it goes the other way,
it's all about that first movement.
Right.
That's all you got.
So LA scores a couple penalty kicks. Meantime, their goaltender's perfect. So the Union end up losing when it was right there. And actually, it was 2022 because the Union and the Phillies both lost, if you remember, the championship on the same day.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Because the next day it was like, oh, it sucks to be in Philly, you know? How many cities do you know that lose 2 championships in one day?
It's not always sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, right.
But have you been to a Union game live?
I have, yeah.
I tell people this all the time. There's nothing like it.
Well, okay, I only have one complaint.
Okay.
And it kind of reminds me of going to Flyers games at the Spectrum as a kid. Okay. I loved the Spectrum. Like in the bowl itself, it was great. The sight line, I mean, it was just, and the place rocked, not to use just an old sports cliche, but you're packed in like sardines in the concourse.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing at Subaru Park. You can't move in that concourse.
No.
Once you're in your seat, it's beautiful. The field's great. It looks great.
You got the Sons of Ben.
Yeah, there's not.
I mean, it's fantastic.
And there's not a bad seat in that place, but it gets pretty crowded in that concourse.
It definitely does. But I will say that they are so fan friendly. That organization.
Oh yeah.
I would take my soccer team down there every year. They would let us on the field. They would let us in the locker room afterwards. I mean, they were just the consummate professionals.
Right.
Getting out of there though, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
It's tough.
I mean, it's brutal on anybody, but they're specific because it's only one way. And they finally got better, I think, over the last like year and a half. In the beginning, it was brutal.
Well, I got to tell you, I think they made a mistake not building in the sports complex.
Oh,
I think they would probably get even more fans to their games if they were in the South Field because it's so easily accessible. That's why when teams talk about building stadiums elsewhere or going into Center City or going to Camden or whatever, it's like you got all the highway access right there.
Yes.
And if you're coming from Jersey, it's right over the Walt Whitman Bridge. I mean, it's such a convenient area. And I just think it's cool. I love all the sports venues.
I think it's cool as hell because there's not many like that.
No. And to me, the Union should have built in the sports complex.
Would have been nice.
Yeah.
Would have been nice. Now, were you a fan of the Sixers trying to be down Chinatown?
No,
I wasn't either.
I wasn't. Now, I mean, I know some people who were, like Mark Farzetta. You know Mark?
I love Mark.
Okay.
He's been on the show multiple times.
Mark's
he's a great guy.
Mark is great and one of the most entertaining guys and knowledgeable too.
Yeah.
But he's so entertaining in how he does his sports talk.
Yep.
But I remember on my podcast, I asked him about building in Center City, building in Chinatown, and it's going to cause a traffic nightmare. And he says something like, "Oh my God, you mean people want to come to my city? Oh my God, it's going to be crowded because so many people want to come to my city. Oh no, I mean, and okay, I guess that's a good point.
Yeah,
but
that's what they wanted,
right?
That's what they wanted. But I just thought, man, like, and I felt bad too. I mean, these people are getting kicked out of their area. I mean, come on, man. Like,
I'm not sure how serious all that was anyway.
Yeah.
I think that was just Josh Harris just trying to muscle his way to get a new arena, and it worked.
It did work. At the end of the day, it did work.
It worked. I mean,
it did work.
I mean, it's funny because the people in Washington think he's a great owner, but we don't.
I know, it's so crazy.
I mean, he's.
My thing about that is what makes him such a bad owner? He spends more. I mean, we've seen bad owners.
Okay. What makes him a bad owner?
Yeah,
he's still employing Daryl Morey. That's what makes.
You know what though? I think Morey gets a bad rap, dude.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I do. And the reason why is, so what has Daryl Morey done that's been a detriment to this team?
Well, did they have to sign Embiid to that big new contract?
I think they did.
Did they?
I do. I think it was
because that. I mean, you look at some of the contracts the Sixers have now, and I feel like it's going to take years to. I mean, what's the old Howard Eskin line? They're a few years away from being a few years away. That's kind of what it seems like.
Well, I think they looked at the entire landscape and they said, okay, do we have a shot to win a title? And I think he thought, if I could just squeeze 2 to 3 more years out of this guy, and if not, what was their alternative? See, that's the thing. When I said, everybody, what was their alternative? Like, what did you want them to do? There was nobody out there. There was nothing to do. You weren't in draft cat. Like, what were you supposed to do? And at that time, I don't think people would have been ready to be like, nope, let just be done. Me personally, I'm on record. I wanted to trade Embiid 3 years ago before the extension, because I just thought that there was no way that they were going to be able to win a championship built around him.
And I agree with you.
And so, but I don't blame Morey for signing him. I don't. I think now you can blame Morey for signing Paul George, right? I mean, that's something that he wasn't on his team. You can blame him for that. You can blame him for bringing in Harden. But here's the thing about Harden. Harden actually won in the beginning. Wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but in the playoffs,
the biggest mistake to me will always go back to choosing Ben over Jimmy.
Oh God, no doubt. Yeah,
that will haunt us till the end of time.
No doubt about it. If
you would have just made Jimmy the max player, we may not be having this conversation
instead of Tobias Harris.
It's right. I mean, that's wow. That was you talk about. We didn't talk about bad move. We talked about bad losses, but that's a head scratch.
Well, I mean, you think about it. I mean, all the bad draft picks.
But that wasn't Morey.
Well, I know that. I know
that's EB.
But I'm going back. Right. I mean, Markelle Fultz, and they traded up, right? Didn't they trade up with Boston?
They did, but
Boston wasn't going to take him anyway.
Right. They were never going to get Tatum. See, that's the other thing. People think, oh, wait, you were never getting him. No matter what, Boston was getting Tatum. Boston just fleeced us.
Well, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a shame.
But there was an oh my God, who else am I thinking of? There was another draft pick that didn't pan out. Oh gosh, this is going to bother me now.
Another draft pick that
that didn't pan out. Well, of course, Simmons didn't pan out either.
Right.
I mean, and that's why when people say the process was a failure, I don't think the process was a failure. I think how they went about doing the process was a failure.
The way they utilized their assets from the process is what failed it.
Yeah.
The process was right. Hinkie did what everybody wanted him to do. I mean, just not everybody can build a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder. Not everybody can bank on all those picks that are going to come to fruition.
How many wins do you think that team's going to have this year?
Crazy, man.
They're nuts, man.
They are. And I feel like there's no
What's the record? 72, 73 wins? What's the record?
Chicago Bulls, 73 wins.
73?
Yeah. Think about that.
They could, but
they could. There's no competition, especially with the injuries that are happening too. There's no competition, man.
Yeah.
There's no competition. And they're young. It's crazy. They're young. They're young. And, and I don't know how much you read about like SGA. The thing I love about him, he's not an asshole. Like, legitimately, he is a very grounded individual. He's the one that stops for the kids. He's the one that is a team guy. And that's why they kept saying, who's going to be the face of the league? There you go, man.
Yeah.
And we have one here in Tyrese Maxey, by the way. I mean, me and my buddy Tom from A2D were talking about last night. You talk about face of a franchise. I mean, this kid Maxey, he has everything the right way. I mean, he was just an Oaks, PA. I don't know if you saw that with his dog, because he's got a dog.
Oh, yes, I did. Yeah, at the dog show, yeah.
Right? His mom and dad are at every game sitting in the front row.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
This kid's very grounded.
He's very likable.
He is. And he listen, he's never going to be perfect. We don't need people to be perfect.
Right.
But he gets it.
He gets it. He puts in the effort.
It does.
And like you said, you don't have to be perfect, but even when you're not perfect, if we know you're trying, if we know you're putting forth the effort, then that's all we ask for.
And where did he go to school?
Where did he go to school?
Went to Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
What's the reason why I say that? It's another 5-star program that teaches you how to be not just an athlete, but a respectful human being, and to understand how to on and off the court.
Right.
It's a lot to say for that, man.
Yeah, no, you're right.
A lot to say for that. So yeah, I think Morey gets a bad rap. I do. I think Morey is doing everything he can to try to salvage. And I think now he knows, unfortunately, it's probably done. But if you look at what they did this year, how can you be mad at that?
No, I'll give that. He had a good offseason.
He did.
He had a good offseason.
Underrated, good offseason.
I will give him that.
They didn't pay Quentin Grimes. They didn't budge, but they were able to bring him back on a tender, which was great.
Yeah.
Barlow is a find. So, and then Andre Drummond's playing out of his mind. Who would expect Andre Drummond of Kelly Oubre until he went down? They're deep. They're not star deep, but they're player deep. So I think Darryl gets a man rap.
Okay, I get that.
That's me. Is he the best? Listen, he's not going to be Howie Roseman, right? I mean, listen, I was just on last night claiming I was the guy saying you need to fire Nick Sirianni next year, but
really,
yeah, I'm out.
Okay, wait, hold on, but wait, based on what? I mean, now are you talking? Is it dependent upon how the rest of the season goes? You mean?
My mind's already made up that this is a lost season. That's the way I look at it.
You don't think they're going to recover?
I just, everything that they're doing to me is damage control right now. It just shows me that something's off.
Okay.
Right. I feel like when you lose the locker room, which I feel like he has, and I feel like it's not just one thing. It's a combination of things continuing to happen. I feel like, listen, we've always had injuries. Guys would fight through it. We always had adversity. Guys would fight through it. I feel like they're succumbing to the adversity. They're succumbing to the injuries because I just don't feel like they want to fight. I feel like they don't have it.
Okay, so if they have another collapse this season, you think he should go? Now, but at what point?
I know it's crazy.
Well, it's not.
I get it.
It's not crazy because you're not the only person to say that. If you listen to Sports Talk Radio, you're not the only person to say that. But on the other hand, do you have to give him the benefit of the doubt because he just won the Super Bowl?
No.
And he's been to 2 Super Bowls?
I don't think you do, because I think in today's market, it's not only about the head coach anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel the most respected and most important person on that team is Vic Fangio. in my opinion.
Okay.
And I feel like I had a scenario in my mind that I feel like, unfortunately, it looks like to me that you remember, even when they won a Super Bowl, the year before they won the Super Bowl,
That was the collapse.
right in 23.
Yeah.
But even then, it was a lot of talk was like the players were a little distraught. They were getting tired of Sirianni's act, the clown show. Remember, I have to calm down. I have to be right. Remember that. And then it was like he's going to be the CEO coach. So he's put in this situation right now where they don't think he's the X's and O's guys. He's just supposed to be a master motivator and just a guy to coach guys up. Who's he coaching up? Like, I don't see any of that right now. So I look at a team that's very young, and I look at going forward, who do you want them to learn from? And if it's not this guy, then the changes to happen sooner or later.
Okay, I get that. But then what does it say about the Eagles if you're going to fire a guy 1 year after winning the Super Bowl?
It's listen, how many years was Doug here after he won the Super Bowl?
That's a great question.
I'm terrible. 2 years?
Maybe 2 years, yeah.
And
now, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't that a situation where like they said to him, "Hey, these are going to be your coordinators. You can't hire your own. These are the guys we're going to put in place for you, or we're going to pick them." Like,
maybe.
Now, if they were to say that to Sirianni, I think he'd go along with it.
Well, you'd have to. That's his role.
Peterson didn't.
But I just feel like if that bad, I'll call it like a stench is around, it was around before. And I just think that it continues to be around. Something to me just isn't right. And if it was just AJ Brown, if it was just Jalen Hurts, I'd be like, okay, maybe I think it's way above all this.
Well, okay, I will tell you, the Monday night game, I don't know when this is going to drop. I don't mean to keep making like dated references.
No, it doesn't matter.
But the Charger game is going to say a lot. Okay, if people are watching this and the game's already over and they've lost, like the snowball is going to start rolling out of control. It's, I don't want to call it a must win, but I think it's a must win.
I 100% agree. 100% agree. So I just say the Sirianni take for me is based on them one and done, like getting out of the playoffs like they did in 23 against Baker and the Bucks.
You're okay.
If
making
that's
the
way
playoffs,
this goes, which I feel like it's going to, I hope I'm wrong. Again, please tell me I'm wrong. I don't want to be right. It's just what I feel. It's just what I feel. I'm a body language guy, and that body language is so bad right now.
Do you blame him for what's going on?
I do.
Do you blame Patullo?
No, I don't blame Patullo. I just got an argument with that, with a couple people today. Like, why are we making Patullo the scapegoat? Like, I again, this is just so. If you remember, in the beginning of last year, the offense wasn't that great either.
Yeah. And
what changed? To me, it was Kellen Moore finally was like allowed to do his thing.
Right.
What's the stagnant? What's the it's Sirianni.
I agree. I mean, I think
that's my thing.
I think Patullo's getting too much heat. I think it's more Sirianni, and you could even put some of it on Hurts too.
Yeah, you could. He's not played great.
No,
he hasn't played great. So we'll see where it goes, man. I mean, look, I want a back-to-back. I want another Super Bowl, right?
I don't want to be greedy, but yeah. I mean, I've always said I just want one championship from each team that I could look back on and say, I remember everything about that season. And sure, you want more, but I want at least one.
Yeah.
Okay. The Eagles gave us 2. The Phillies, I remember 08. Okay. I'm still waiting for the Flyers. I was 10 years old in 83 when the Sixers won. I don't remember too much about that. I want a championship from each team that I could look back on and be like, you know what? That was a great season. I remember everything about that season.
I agree, man. I agree. And I think that right now, I mean, obviously that was last year, but I want a couple more, man.
Yeah.
I'm greedy like you. I want a couple more.
Well, look, we're all greedy to a point, right?
We are.
We're all greedy. I got a friend who's a Boston sports fan.
Oh, okay.
Who when things aren't going well, the few times they're not going, he'll go on social media and complain. And I'm like, oh, it's really tough being a Boston sports fan.
That's the thing.
How many championships have you guys had?
And you know what? People look at us too. Like a Cleveland Brown fan, you know, the New York, like, what do you guys? But you're 8-4, like,
Right.
but you don't understand.
Right.
Like, you have to be here to
Right.
understand.
You're not watching this team week to week.
No, you don't. It's almost like I look at it when I was coaching. You're so mad because you know how good, like, the talent on this team, how good it is. What, like, and that's the thing, man. I just think you'll never see a year like last year again. I think they won in spite of Sirianni last year.
That's an interesting take.
Just like I think they won in spite of Doug Peterson. I was on a
really?
Yes, I was on the hill, man. I said that I was not a Doug Peterson guy. I said to the end of time, I said everybody was killing me for it, which is fine. People kill me all the time about that stuff, but I just said they won in spite of Doug Peterson, in my opinion.
Interesting.
They had a very good coaching staff on that team.
So you think it was more the coordinators and Peterson?
I do. I think it was more. I do. I don't think it was Doug at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think Doug was just a nice guy. Right? I think it was just a nice guy.
Well, apparently, Laurie and Roseman thought that too, because they had no problem letting him go.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I kind of feel like Sirianni is the same thing, man. So we'll see. I hope I'm wrong, Jason.
Listen, we'll see what happens.
So maybe when the next time I get you here, we'll be talking. Maybe we'll be talking about our next trip to the Super Bowl.
I would love that.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Let's talk about some good wins next time.
Yeah, we went from we went all dramatic this time, right? That's okay. We gotta look back here and there, man. We gotta look back again, brother. I appreciate
this. Was fun, man. I enjoyed it.
Well, we're gonna do this again.
Yeah, I would love to.
We'll just do a little different topic.
Listen, man, I'm just 10 minutes down the road.
But that's the thing,
and I've always wanted to see your basement in person.
So, well, we have all the time in the world. We have no lives on Friday nights.
That's
right?
True.
I mean, look, what am I going to do? Watch SVU and maybe watch a couple of sports games after I edit a pod?
What did I tell you before we started recording? The only competition for me tonight is bed. It's just going to sleep.
Well, I am a wrestling fan, so I will be watching SmackDown later.
Okay.
So I don't know. You're a wrestling fan?
I was a big wrestling fan when I was a kid.
I was
back when it was the WWF.
Yep.
Yeah.
Saturday mornings.
Well, Saturday mornings, and they used to come to the Spectrum once a month.
I was there,
and like it was like Prism. Remember Prism? Prism would televise. It was Dick Graham and Gorilla Monsoon on the broadcast.
Gorilla Monsoon,
who was a Jersey guy, by the way. He's from South Jersey.
Now, when I was watching, it was Gorilla and Jesse the Body.
Okay.
So I've been to many live shows when I was a kid. I used to get taken to the Civic Center to watch NWA.
The Civic Center.
Saw Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes. I mean, I am a wrestling lifer.
Yeah, I used to all those guys back in the day. Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes. What was it? The Four Horsemen.
The Four Horsemen.
Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson,
Tully
Blanchard,
whose daughter right now, Tessa Blanchard, is on the scene. She's in TNA.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I know Ric Flair's daughter's a wrestler.
Oh, yeah. She's amazing. Charlotte. Amazing. A real name, Ashley, but her ring name, Charlotte.
Nice.
Ric Flair's still styling and profiling.
Yeah, I see him on social media.
It's crazy, man. I want to live a Ric Flair life for a little
bit. Who wouldn't?
Right?
Have you? I think it was A&E did a documentary.
Yes.
Did you watch that?
I watched all
Very well done. They also did one on Roddy Piper. Very well done.
Yep. Another guy. Man, Piper spit.
Yep.
So maybe maybe we'll talk a little wrestling next time.
I'm game.
Old school wrestle.
It's going to be old school. I don't know about the new stuff. I don't know what's happening now. But like 80s into the 90s wrestling. Yeah.
All right. Well, you heard it. You hear it again. Jason Lee, thanks again. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you back here next time.